What's up, everybody? Lou here with Hypocritic, back on the show floor at PAX East 2023. We are here with Justin and Justin, talking about something brand new out on the market now called Crit Rate. How you guys doing?
We're doing excellent. We're so excited. This is the first time that we've brought Crit Rate to PAX, and we couldn't be more thrilled about it.
It's just been 8 years of development, but here we are.
A long time coming.
That's
right.
So
for those who aren't aware yet, what is Crit Rate?
So Crit Rate is a personality-driven recommendation platform. It basically all starts with a personality test that users will take to find out which one of our 5 gamer houses they belong to. And this rates them on different qualities, like whether or not they like multiplayer or single-player games, what ways they get immersed into games, as well as how what kind of game pace they're attracted to. These are just a few of the 7 criteria that we get people on. Then they will be able to rate games and then see others from their houses rating games so that they can get curated recommendations by people that share the same values that they have as far as the games they play.
Very cool, and something that I think a lot of people could genuinely benefit from. Surprisingly, though, it's something you haven't really heard much about up to this point. Where did this idea sort of come from, and how did you sort of get it to the point it is today?
Well, we're actually big geeks of like Myers-Briggs and the Enneagrams, right, honestly. But the truth is like, so Justin and I met in college a long time ago. Let's not talk about it. But there we started thinking about like how games are coming out, like as far as ratings are concerned, and how there's always like a single rating from a single media outlet, kind of like blanketed for everybody. But we really loved essentially like recommending games to each other. And this idea behind, we call it the lunch table philosophy, where it's like back in the day, we would sit down at the lunch table, talk to our friends who knew our tastes and knew our how we like to play, and then would say, this game would be totally for you. That's what we wanted to create. And essentially in a digital world or an ever expanding world, I feel like people are slowly getting farther and farther away from each other. We wanted to figure out how we bring that lunch table back to kind of this digital realm, hence Crit Rate.
Very cool. And now, in terms of actually bringing the product and the service to life, can you tell me about some of the ways you sort of workshop the mechanics and some of the ways behind the scenes so that you come up with these recommendations, these different houses, and how the whole thing comes together?
Absolutely. So we actually started off as a media company and ultimately wanted to mature into a tool that we could use for game reviews that's going to contribute a different level of value, right? And that was kind of existing alongside stuff like Metacritic and OpenCritic and things like that, where we more so focus on fit. So when people go through the survey, we wanted to focus on criteria that really influences the way people play games and the types of games they're attracted to. And when we did our first few preliminary rounds of basically testing and surveying, we realized that people started to fall into some of these categories. Then upon doing a little bit more of investigations into those people, asking them questions, the types of games that they play, we found that these 5 houses really represent core gamers in a lot of ways. Now, people belong on all kinds of spectrums with this, where you might be very prominent in Ascendiary, but then also showing characteristics of another house. And really what we wanted to do is put those people in the same place to add a little bit of validity to those recommendations. It's like saying if you were in a room with 10 people just like you and 8 of them told you should play this game, the likelihood that you'd play that game is pretty high, you know?
Right. And I think it's showing in part when you go onto the service now and see some of those recommendations. You have a big showing here at PAX, and you have people getting their hands on it and really starting to understand what it's all about. What have you seen in terms of public response to this so far? Are people really engaging with it? What are some of the thoughts and comments you got?
So this part's crazy, actually. A lot of the things, we've been working on this for, again, 8 years or so. Last year, we finalized the testing. We've done enough testing through hundreds of different players who've told us that they enjoy the results, to the point where we started bringing out to other smaller shows, Too Many Games in PA, Classic Game Fest in Austin, and even over at the Big House, which is a Smash Major up in Detroit. Hilariously enough, all of the houses are getting hit by these specific players based off of the conventions that we were at, which made us think, what are the chances we actually know what we're doing? I don't know. But after all this said and done, the iterations that we've had, a good like 7 or so through the questions, all of those data points start to come together, and then we're starting to realize players like games generally similar to each other in these 5 different segments.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, we have seen a lot of positive response from the people that are here. It seems like people really enjoy the idea of finding the segment that they fall into and finding a lot of parity with the ways that these houses are set up. So for example, and I'll just go through them quickly, the Vantagists are more mechanical, strategy-driven, high-difficulty players. Curionauts are more creative, exploration-focused type players. Ascendiaries like myself, we're we are collectors. We want to complete the map. We want to do get all of the achievements, things like that. Galabanders are social gamers. They use the game as sort of a medium to hang out with friends. And then our Bravadiers are highly competitive gamers. So as we've had people come through and take the test, they've found a lot of truth with the recommendations that they've been getting, and that really means a lot to us. It tells us that we're on the right track. So.
And I can vouch for that. I was let's say sorted into Galabander myself when we did this earlier. And in terms of the sociability and the friend aspect of this, I mean that's kind of proof right there.
Yeah.
So as this product sort of evolves and more people start to understand it and come to grips with it, where do you see it going? Are there things on the roadmap that you really want to integrate into it as it stands right now? What's kind of the future?
Absolutely. I mean, as far as features are concerned, a lot of the things that we're just learning now are not just from. We're doing this basically for the community and like for video gamers, but they're also coming to us with ideas of, say, ways to follow their friends, see different ratings, even if you're in a different house. What are they saying? If I know that my friend's in Bravadier or Ascendiary and I'm a Galabander, what are the chances I could triangulate a game that I like from what they're saying about the game, right? And on top of that, it's like not just following other friends and stuff, but we also want to work heavily with developers. A lot of the things that we're hearing from the people here at PAX is that we're looking for feedback from users. This is a great way for them to get that feedback from different mentalities and different play styles. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. Well, congratulations on all of this. Really, really fantastic, innovative concept. Looking forward to see where it goes from here. Justin and Justin from Crit Rate, thanks so much, and keep it here with Hypocritic for more from PAX East all weekend long.
Thank you so much, Lou.
Great.
You have awesome.